and welcome to Talkin' Braves. I'm Luke Hardin.
And my name is David Waters. And
How
welcome
we
back,
doing?
everyone. Episode 14. Good to be back. Haven't recorded in a very long time, but we're back. Got some baseball games to talk about.
We
Baseball is
do.
back, and we couldn't be any more excited for it. We're glad that you all have decided to join us whenever you're listening. So, we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to dive straight into some of these games that we've played the last couple days, starting with this past Monday. What was that date? It was March the 1st, where
Correct.
we had our first win. Also, in the last episode, if you listen to that, we said that this episode was going to be top 10 shortstops. We're going to push that back a little bit. Just because we have a little bit of exciting news for the podcast, but we're going to keep it a secret until...
We don't want to tell anybody yet. It's happening tomorrow, but we want to keep it a secret until it officially releases. So we're excited. I'm excited though. We're really excited.
So this episode is going to be dropping on Friday, and the surprise episode for y'all is going to be up on Sunday, barring any kind of pushbacks or whatever. A lot of things can happen. So
yeah,
that's the plan right now. And unless something happens, then we might have to push it back, and then we'll try and do a top 10 shortstops in the near future. We want to get done with these top 10 lists. I mean, it's just kind of like a lot of time goes into those, putting together those lists, recording it, talking about each guy. Kind of a bad idea on my part, but it's okay. I mean, they've been doing pretty well, so I know, like, maybe that's not the best thing to say in front of all of our all the fans of that series, but moving forward, I think we definitely want to get done with those lists. We only have 4 more positions to do. We got shortstop, and then all 3 of the outfield spots, and then we're done. And then hopefully at that point it'll be time for opening day, and we'll be talking about some things that we might expect going into the 2021 regular season. So, Luke, you want to get us started with Game 1 from March the 1st?
Yeah, let's do it. So March the 1st, we played the Boston Red Sox. Guys like Ronald Acuna, Ozzy Albies made their spring training appearances. We won 5-3. Wasker Inoa started the game. He pitched very well. Didn't give up any runs or give up any hits. He gave up 1 run. He did have 2 walks. He pitched an inning and a third. Pretty good outing.
He struck out 4 though.
Yeah, he did. He pounded the zone in the first inning. Second inning, is a little shaky at times, but as spring training goes on, I expect him to get better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say this guy's last name.
Hoekstra, I think.
Kurt Hoekstra.
That's what we're going to go with. I think it's Hoekstra. I think I remember hearing Jim Powell say Hoekstra. But we're not experts on the stuff. I mean, we do keep up with prospects. We just don't know how to say their name, so bear with us.
Yeah. So he came in and got the last out of the second inning. He did walk 2 guys, but he didn't give up any runs. And then Touki Toussaint pitched 2 innings, gave up a run, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Not a bad outing. Not a bad outing by any means.
AJ Minter came in. AJ Minter, despite giving up 3 hits, he worked out of a jam. He got kind of some unlucky, stuff happens. There was miscommunication
twice
in the outfield. Stuff happens, but he got out of it. Tyler Matzik, clean inning. Our boy.
Not going to say anything about that. But
Tyler Matzik had a very clean inning, 1 strikeout, faced the minimum. Very good. First appearance of the spring. And then Jose De La Cruz came in.
Jasiel De La Cruz.
Or is it Jasiel? My bad. Is it?
We had Joel De La Cruz a couple of years ago.
My bad.
If you remember him.
Jasiel De La Cruz came in and he gave up a run, 1 hit, 2 walks. You know,
He got the
as spring
save.
training goes on, he did get the save. As far as hitters go, wasn't the best. It wasn't like we didn't have an offensive explosion. We had 5 runs on 5 hits. Ronald led us off with a leadoff double. I like to see the hustle out of the box from Ronald early in spring training. I was watching that game. He was running. I mean, he probably would have mounted on a good throw, but I do like seeing him running it out of the box and being aggressive. So also Ozzy scored 2 runs. He went 0 for 2, but he scored 2 runs. Had a walk. Jake Lamb had a 1 for 2 day and got an RBI. Good to see. He actually, I think he got, or was that the next game? He got hit in the knee, and had to come out. But I think I think they said
that
he was fine.
Another game.
I think that was the next day. But
Yeah.
good to see Jake Lamb back, and hopefully can make a big impact on this team this year. Johan, not a great day. I mean, he went 0 for 3, had a walk. Johan, I haven't seen it at the plate from Johan yet. In these first, I think he's had 3 starts and just, hasn't done too great. So also Philip Irvin. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to say a little something about Camargo because, like, just on the topic of Camargo, I mean, I've been watching him since he came up, and I think it was 17 or 18? I think it was 2017.
Yeah, I think 17.
And I remember watching him, and, I really didn't remember him ever being, like, in our top prospect list, but I was told he was, like, around, like, the 15, 16 range. So obviously he wasn't, like, the biggest prospect, but I'm going to be honest. I really haven't seen it out of him. I have not been impressed at all by Camargo. His defense is pretty good. I mean, I can appreciate him because he can play second base if Ozzy needs a day off or gets hurt or something. He played a little bit of second last year, but defensively, he's pretty good. I mean, he's nothing special, but offensively, he's been kind of bad, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I'm not a big believer in Camargo, but who knows? He might turn it around to 2021. Who knows? I'm pulling for him, but I will say this. I've said it before. He seems like he's like really flashy to me, and like I feel like he's too flashy for the type of player he is. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Just had to throw that out there. The nose piercing, like, I'm not a fan. I'll throw that one in there too. I'm not a fan of that either. Earrings I don't mind, but nose piercings, that's where I draw the line. No, Johan. But you said Philip Irvin. May I mention Samford University grad?
Was he actually?
Samford? Yes, I'm a student at Samford. If y'all didn't know.
Shout out to Samford.
Shout out Samford. Samford Bulldog. I can't remember. I think he's the only active major leaguer who graduated from Samford. So, also shout out to Samford's baseball program. I actually was working their game on ESPN Plus. Actually, it was yesterday when we were recording this, so on Wednesday against Jacksonville State. So, if you ever watch Samford Athletics on ESPN Plus, I might be working, so I might be a part of that broadcast team. So that's what I'm doing for the school. So I don't know, little shout out to Philip Irvin there. Go Bulldogs.
Yeah.
But may I mention he was also who took over for him and left was my boy Drew Waters. So
yes, that is correct.
My wonderful fake cousin.
Drew went 0 for 1. I think
hey.
I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying what the fact. I'm just saying what the stats say.
Okay.
Guy that had the best day with the bat, in my opinion. Williams Contreras, he went 1 for 2, had 3 RBIs and a walk. Very good day for Williams.
Whoa. Did you put an S on Williams?
Isn't it Williams?
No, it's William.
Oh, is it William?
I heard an S.
Oh.
I heard an S.
William Contreras. Did I say Williams?
I heard Williams.
William Contreras.
We don't
1 for 2, 3
We don't
RBIs
want to be bad
and a
fans
walk.
here.
Sorry. He was replaced by
Jonathan Morales.
Jonathan Morales, who went. He didn't get a plate appearance. He was just a defensive replacement. Christian Pache went 0 for 2, but he did have 2 good swings. He was robbed of a home run his first at bat by Cesar Puello. That kind of made me a little angry, but
Was. Yeah.
Even though if you didn't watch the game, don't be alarmed for the 0 for 2. He swung the bat well. He looked good. Was placed by Justin Dean, who went 0 for 1. Enray or Honor Enz. How do you say it? Enray.
Ari
Andrianza.
I always have to say that name like really slowly because it's a tongue twister. I hate saying that.
0 for 2.
It's a cool name though. I mean, I just can't say
0
it.
for 2. Didn't do much. I don't know what he did in the field. I don't remember. CJ Alexander 0 for 1. I tell you, CJ Alexander has been not impressive to me so far, at least spring training wise. He hasn't gotten it going with the bat. I don't know what his strength is. I haven't looked at his prospect profile, but I mean, just off initial glimpse, I don't want to bash him, but
I mean, it's only been a couple of games, so
yeah, it's only been a couple of games, so yeah.
We're not.
And then Braden. Sorry, what?
Go ahead. I'm gonna try to pull up
to finish it out.
Alexander.
Braden Shoemake went 1 for 3.
Okay,
and that's it.
But may I mention we also got bailed out here in this game. I mean, I know this game doesn't really matter, but this is baseball analysis. We have games going on now. Of course, we're going to be discussing them. And I get that these games are just exhibition. They don't really count. They don't really count toward anything. I mean, it's just fun to talk baseball. So we also got bailed out by the Red Sox this game. 5 errors for them. But we also gave them a lot of opportunities to score. They also had 5 hits. We had 5 hits. They had 5 hits. They gave us 5 errors, but we also walked 8 of their guys.
Yeah,
8 and 7.
We did
innings.
have a lot of walks.
That is not a good sign. And so the only guys who didn't have a walk, AJ Minter and Tyler Matzik, 2 guys who we can definitely rely on in our bullpen this year. So Tukey, 2 walks in 2 innings. Hoekstra, I mean, I don't think he's going to be up in 2021, maybe 2022 at the earliest, but don't see Hoekstra being a factor in at the major league level anytime soon. But 2 walks in less than 2 innings, that's not great. But he did strike out 4. I'll give him credit for that. But and then Jaciel De La Cruz with 2 walks in only 1 inning. So we have 3 different guys who walked 2 in 2 innings or less. That's not good. That is not a good sign. And you're saying it a lot with these younger guys, just the inability to throw strikes. And obviously, in order to be successful at the major league level, you got to throw strikes. And you're kind of seeing it with Craig Kimbrell now. I mean, I know it's no longer a Brave, but he's not throwing strikes. I mean, back in the day, he got a lot of guys to swing and miss at a bunch of nasty off-speed pitches in the dirt. Now, hitters have figured him out. And, you're seeing Craig Kimbrell, his walk rate has flown up the last several years. And that's really what's coming back to bite him. So obviously you got to be successful at the major league level. You have got to throw strikes. I mean, even the guys with the best stuff like Kimbrell are going to get bitten once hitters figure out you don't throw strikes. So, and it really hurts your pitch count as well. So you're not going to throw deep into the games if you can't throw strikes. And that goes only for starting pitchers, but still.
Yeah.
So that's game 2. That was our first win of the spring. Obviously not the best outing by any means, but a good win nonetheless. So on March the 2nd, we haven't had an off day yet. We shut out the Twins 6-0 on Tuesday this week. And I'll take the start of this one. Because Lukey did the last one. So Ender Inciarte started out in center field. Adrianza hit second. Ozuna made his spring training debut. He went 1 for 2 with a run scored. Travis d'Arnaud also made his spring debut and homered in his first at bat. 8-2 run bomb, and the Braves never looked back after that. Austin Riley batting fifth. Third, Abraham Almonte batting sixth and right. Jason Kipnis, I think is this his first start, or did he start game one?
No, I think that was.
I think
he started game one. Yeah,
he did start game one.
I think so.
Or either that, or he was a replacement. I can't remember really, but
yeah,
because I started listening a little later in that game. He batted seventh at second, and Pablo Sandoval at first base. Obviously, Freeman's going to be. I think he's going to be back in camp tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, which is today. If when this podcast is going to be released, I think he's going to be back Friday. Pablo Sandoval at first base, and Guillermo Heredia batting ninth as the designated hitter. This was a much better offensive showing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We racked up 11 hits, 2 from Ender, which is great to see. I've always pulled for Ender. I really feel like people are so unfair to Ender Inciarte, because a lot of these fans came along in like 2018, because that's the first year we were like really good. They didn't really follow the rebuild and stuff, so they didn't see Ender in 2016 and 2017 when he was one of our most valuable players on the team. He was an all-star in 2017. This guy's glove is phenomenal. His speed at the top of the lineup, led the NL in hits in 2017. And not to mention all those gold gloves. I think he won. Did he win 2 or 3? I think.
Yeah, I think it's 2, 3. I don't know.
I don't know, something like that.
I don't know exactly.
But once Acuna came up and started playing center field, Ender wasn't playing every day, which was kind of sad to see because I love Ender. But obviously not being able to play every day, your bat is not going to be as productive. And that was what happened to Ender Inciarte. And I mean, I know we got Pache coming up, and Pache is like the next big thing, according to everyone. Ender Inciarte was a very, very good player when he played every day for us. And honestly, I wouldn't mind to see him start on opening day in center field. I know everyone wants to see Pache, but give Pache a little bit of time in the minors. Well, I guess the minor league season did get backed up a month. At least the AAA season did. I don't know about AA. I haven't really heard anything. But I feel like giving Pache a little bit of extra time, depending on what else he does this spring, I wouldn't mind to see Ender Inciarte start the year in center. And I just hate that, because I see it from running my Braves page at Braves News 101 on Instagram. That people hate on Ender way too much, because he has been here he's entering his 5th season with the Braves. And he's done nothing. I don't know if you saw this tweet posted on my Instagram story a couple days ago. Let me pull it up real quick while I'm thinking about it. It was about Ender Inciarte. I think it was either Austin Riley or Christian Pache said something, and David O'Brien tweeted it.
I think it was Christian Pache. Yeah, I remember. I do remember seeing that. Or
Okay.
No, maybe it was Austin Riley. I don't even remember.
Let me check on.
No, I think Austin said something about chipper jump.
Okay.
And then
yeah, that's what it was. So
yeah.
This was actually Grant McCauley, not David O'Brien. Braves Christian Pache said, Ender Inciarte has been incredibly gracious with his time every year. He said he's truly appreciative of Ender's willingness as a Gold Glove winner to work with him, answer questions, and help him improve. Ender Inciarte is that kind of player. He is a team first player. He will do whatever the team needs him to do. That's what stats don't show, is your willingness to help the team win. And Ender Inciarte is that guy, and he's a great mentor for Pache. And if y'all have ever bashed Ender Inciarte, I get it. He has not been a great player since 2017. 2018, he wasn't bad, but 2019, not great. 2020 was bad, if I'm being honest. But Ender Inciarte is that first team first mindset guy on the team. And just please, if y'all don't like Ender Inciarte, please just keep your mouth shut. Because this guy brings a lot to the team. I just had to get that out of the way. Ender Inciarte is a very valuable asset to our team. If he's starting or if he's on the bench, he's helping the team. So stop the Ender hate. Just sorry, I just had to preach that. So because I watched this team throughout the rebuild, and this guy was like the first like great player that we had in the rebuild, besides obviously Freddie Freeman. And
yeah, that guy's pretty good too.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I've heard he's pretty good, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we had guys like Cameron Maben. He was solid, but he wasn't like great. We had Matt Kemp, who's a complete disaster. Kemp was terrible with us.
Double play king.
He was the double play king. I don't think I've ever said that on the podcast, but if I talk to you ever about Matt Kemp, you know that I always brought it up. Every single time he came up with runner first and less than 2 outs, it was a double play every single time. And he wouldn't even make it halfway to first base. It was terrible.
It got so bad that you even made a graphic with him wearing the home run, the crown with the DP on it. I remember
king on it. I still have that. I remember it. So yeah, Matt Kemp was not good, but he was okay with the Rockies last year. But I think his glory days have been long gone for a long time. So, I mean, it's hard to believe that a guy who is that slow for us. I know this is so off topic. We were talking about spring training. I was just bashing Matt Kemp, but this happens every episode. This is so stupid. But it's hard to believe that a guy who's that slow like Matt Kemp, first of all, played in the outfield. That's beyond me. And was one time, I think it was one home run away from a 40-40 season in like 2011, I think. He was still over 40 bases once upon a time. Like, I know, I get he battled injuries, but still, like, he was that slow. I mean, he did put on weight too, so
yeah.
So, whatever. But we'll talk about this game. We did shut out the Twins 6-0, and I'll let you take the rest of the way because I know I've kind of been rambling on.
No, you're good.
You can talk about pitching because Ian Anderson made his spring debut.
Ian Anderson did make his spring debut. It was a great day pitching wise for the entire staff. Ian Anderson started the game, gave 3 hits, 1 walk, no runs though, 2 strikeouts. Good way to start spring. And then Will Smith came in, clean inning, great to see, no home runs.
Also, can I mention a weird stat on Will Smith from last year?
Yeah.
And I know I texted this to you a couple days ago. Will Smith. Let me just pull up his stats real quick. I should have been more prepared for this, but his whip was actually no. I'll say it.
Oh, sure.
His whip last year was 0.938, which is his second best in his career. Because he only gave up 11 hits in 16 innings. But out of those 11 hits, 7 of them were homers. 7 of 11 of the hits he gave up were home runs.
Yep.
That's unheard of. That's crazy, but go ahead. You can keep going.
Yeah, it was good to see Will Smith have a good outing. No home runs. Nate Jones made his, I guess, Braves debut in spring training. I don't know what you'd call it.
Clean debut in a Braves uniform.
Yes. Clean inning, no base runners. And then my boy, Kyle Muller, came in pitching in 2/3.
Our boy.
Okay, our boy. Gave up 2 hits, no runs, 3 Ks. Good outing for him. And then wait, hang on. What is this guy's name?
Daysbel Hernandez.
Daysbel Hernandez came in and got the last out of that inning. And then Jacob Webb closed out the game. Or I guess we actually hit in the bottom half, I believe.
Was it this game?
I think so. Yeah.
Or oh yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Wait, no,
it wasn't. It wasn't.
Wait.
So I guess Jacob Webb pitched the last 3 outs, got 2 strikeouts, clean inning. So all around good day for the pitching staff. Only 2 walks, which was good to see because most of those guys like Will Smith, Jacob Webb, and possibly even Nate Jones, and then Ian Anderson, will be on our opening or our staff. So good to see minimal amount of not a lot of walks. So that's good to see in 7-inning game. So
yeah, only 2 walks. One from Anderson. I mean, he did go 3 hits and a walk in 2 innings. That's not fantastic, but it's not the end of the world. As long as he was able to pitch out of it, which he did,
yeah,
I'm okay with it. And then Daisybel Hernandez walked 1 in a third of an inning, but obviously, pretty darn good to see. Also love seeing Sean Kazmar get some playing time in spring training, and I really hope that he gets to the chance to play Major League Baseball again. Alex Anthopoulos, if you're listening, get him up there in the majors. I mean, just give Dansby a couple days off here and there.
yeah,
Kazmar has literally tried to get back into the major leagues for 13 years. Give him a chance. Come on now. I mean, I'm sure he's been a big help in the minors, but hey, I wouldn't mind to see it in April when Gwinnett doesn't have a season.
yeah,
Or the season won't start yet. Give Sean Kazmar a few looks at second or shortstop or third. He can play all over the infield. He could play first if he wanted to.
yeah.
But I'd rather see him get a few starts than Pablo Sandoval. Come on. I mean, nothing
Very
against
true.
Pablo Sandoval. Nothing against Pablo Sandoval, but he's past his prime. Sean Kazmar he's still pretty good. He homered in the first spring training game. I mean, in his first at bat of the spring, he's still a pretty solid player. But
Yeah.
I mean, he literally last time he played the majors was 2008. Can you even name a player who's been around since 2008? There's not many around. I mean, you have Scherzer. I think he
I don't
made his
know.
debut around that time. Pujols has been around since 01. Yeah, fine, but Pujols is the only Verlander, I guess, another guy. But that was before I even got fully into baseball, which is hard to believe that there's a guy on the Braves who's been around that long. I mean, I guess Pablo Sandoval came around that time, maybe 2009, 2010, somewhere in that range for Pablo. But I know Freeman came up in 2010 originally and got called up. Remember when September call-ups were a big thing?
Yeah.
Times.
Good
But
times.
anyways, we will go. So that improved our record to 2-1 on the spring. So we'll move on to wait, no, that was the game where we hit in the 7th inning.
Was it?
I think yeah, because I was
no. This Baltimore game was.
No, because we lost.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm right.
Disregard.
So, anyways, can we just shout out the losing pitcher, Luke Jackson, with a loss in this game? Surprise, surprise, shocker, huh?
Yeah.
You having mic issues there?
No, my mic fell. I was trying to clap for him.
Well, Luke Jackson 0-1 on the spring. But anyways, we got hammered by in Braves terms, we got walloped by the Orioles. 8-1 the final score. Wade LeBlanc with a win. That guy's still around. Hang on a minute. Wait, I just realized he's been around forever. Jeez.
Yeah, he's 36.
When did he make his debut? I haven't heard this name. Oh, same year as Sean Kazmar. Give Sean Kazmar a shot, Anthopoulos. Come on now. I don't know. I feel like if we're just stating the facts, this podcast might get a little boring, but we'll try to throw a few more opinions in here. So, anyways, later in the podcast, we got a little review to read. So I'm kind of looking forward to that because Luke doesn't know what it says. I told him a while back, we got a review and it's not very positive. So
he hasn't told me yet. So you're getting my live reaction to it.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. So we'll just get through these, but we won't rush through these games, but we'll definitely address this later on. So you can get us started with game 4 this spring from March the 3rd, Wednesday.
Yeah. So the lineup was Ronald Acuna. He went 0 for 2. Nothing happened much that day. Ozzy Albies in the 2-hole went 1 for 2 with a bomb. Marcell Ozuna 0 for 2. Jake Lamb 0 for 2. Dansby Swanson 0 for 2. Christian Pache 1 for 2.
Hey, we got a hit.
Johan Camargo 0 for 2.
Okay.
William Contreras didn't have a plate appearance. He walked.
No, he did have a plate appearance. He didn't have an official at bat.
Or yes, he had a plate. Yes, sorry, he had a plate appearance. He did not have an at bat.
See,
He
I
walked.
I have you here to talk baseball, but I am going to correct you if I hear something I don't
I'm
like.
I'm 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 kind of out of it at the moment. So
That's okay. Tomorrow's a big day. There's a lot of stuff going on, so
and
we got a
then
lot
Philip
that we can
Irving
move.
went 1 for 2.
My boy,
So
Philip, let's go.
Philip.
Philip, come to Birmingham sometime.
So he only had 3 hits. It was an ugly game to say the least. The only bright spot, what I would say, is good outing for Drew Smiley to start the spring. 2 innings,
Yes.
1 hit, 3 strikeouts, no walks. So Drew off to a good start in the spring. Obviously, Luke Jackson's in midseason form. Great to see.
Yeah, only 1 run for Luke Jackson. That's good for Luke Jackson's standards.
He
Luke
only gave up
Jackson.
1 run, or he only gave up 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 walk. That's like
that is good for Luke Jackson's standards. Let me just be clear here. Luke Jackson, have you ever seen this guy give up less than 2 hits and less than 2 base runners in an inning? I didn't think so. So only 2 base runners at time, and obviously he did go up a run, but that's kind of what you got to expect.
Do you think anybody's ever going to tell him that you want to pitch with nobody on base? Do you think he knows that?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a good question. But I mentioned we only got 3 hits this game. 3 total hits. That's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, against,
it was a bad offensive game.
But to be fair, like Baltimore literally threw out their ace, Wade LeBlanc. Are you kidding me? That's their ace. Just kidding. John Means didn't fall off the face of the earth.
It used to be Tommy Malone.
Go. What happened to him?
Guy fell off the face of the earth, dude. That was our big trade deadline acquisition. And then he had like 1 start, and then we DFA'd him. Or no, he got injured or something. I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. Like, when is the last? Also, this question goes out to all the people listening wherever you are. Email us at Tom. Wait, Dick. No, wait. What's our email? Tomahawk Talk Official. Even though we are no longer. Wait, in the intro, did we say Talking Braves? I think we did.
Yeah,
our email. We can't change our email. I mean, unless we start a completely new one, which we don't. I really don't want to do. But tomahawktalkofficial@gmail.com. Email us. What was I asking? Shoot. I lost my train of thought.
I don't know what you're asking.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind. It came back to me because we were talking about Tommy Malone. Email us if you can remember the last time we had a good trade at the trade deadline. It's been years. Never? I think.
Well, like we got the player like when it was a good trade for like we were like either buyers or sellers or just buyers.
Either. I mean,
all right, fair enough.
I mean, I remember.
I can name maybe
2010. We acquired Derek Lee. If you can remember back that far, I don't know if you were watching the Braves at that point. But
I mean, I watched the Braves at that point, but I didn't like keep up with like the trades and stuff. I was way too young. That was when I was like 8, 9. I didn't have a phone back then.
But you had a TV. You had a TV.
I did have a TV.
We could watch the games on Peachtree TV. I miss those days. Peachtree TV.
Those were the good days.
The Braves days. Oh my gosh.
Now we're changing it to like whatever it's being changed.
Yeah. Can we just mention that Fox Sports is going to be renamed to Bally Sports? Like, what is that? I don't know if y'all saw this. Okay, this might be like breaking news to some of you. Fox Sports South and Fox Sports Southeast, they're going to be known as Bally Sports South and Bally Sports Southeast. Starting in 2022. I think that's when it's going to happen. Bally is like this, isn't it like some gambling thing?
I don't know. I've never even heard of it.
I haven't either. But if it's like gambling, then so we're going to have all these networks that are owned by a gambling company, and we can't let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Like, what is this?
Yep.
I don't know. Like, we're like literally everyone's like the networks that are airing baseball games are literally like, I think it's like some kind of gambling thing. What is Bally? Hang on.
Look it up.
Bally Sports. Okay, Bally Sports South. That's dumbest name I've ever heard in my life. Bally is just terrible. What kind of name is Bally? I mean, I get if it's like somebody's name, but whose name is Bally? Are you kidding me?
No idea.
Well, I'm using an ad blocker, and they're making me get rid of ad blocker on this site, so that sucks. Just wait. It's just wasting everyone else's time, everyone listening. But it is what is Bally's? The casino and gaming company. It's a casino in Vegas. What are we doing, Fox? What are you doing to us?
I don't know. They're wild and
Like, ugh, what a terrible name. That's like when SunTrust changed its name to Truist. Like what? Like SunTrust Park was like that was a cool name. Like you could just literally type in, "Hey, you want to go to STP tonight?" Now, now if you just like you want to go to TP tonight, you want to go to toilet paper tonight. Like, everyone's going to think that. Like it could literally stand for toilet paper. Like it's no one's gonna like when you say TP. No one's gonna know what you're talking about. Like,
nope.
So. Hopefully one of these days it's going to be Hank Aaron Field at Truist Park, and I'm just going to call it Hank Aaron Field. We're not even going to talk about. We're not going to support Truist, and we're not going to. No more of these supporting corporations. No more. We've had enough. We've had enough of Liberty.
No more of these changes, bro. Can't we just have some of the same name for like once in our lives? Like
we had Turner Field for a while.
We had Turner. We've had 3 different stadium names in the last 4 years. No, 5 years.
5 years. Wait. Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, because
that's crazy. Turner Field was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember my last game, September 4th, 2016 was my last game at Turner Field.
Did I go in 2016? I think I went to one earlier in the season. I don't think I went all that much because, I mean, but the thing is at Turner Field, the ticket prices at Turner Field were actually like really good because there were just so many seats. Like literally, one of the things about Turner Field, I'll kind of bring this up too. I know we're talking about spring training, but we'll get back to that. Turner Field, it was built for the Olympics, so it had a lot of seats. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you brought in 30,000 people, okay, it would look like it would be half full. I mean, 30,000 fans, that's kind of a lot. I mean, it's not like a ton, but it's still a lot. Even if you had 30,000 fans at Turner Field, it would kind of look empty. And like the Braves, like people from outside the Braves organization, like fans of other organizations, was like they would always say, Braves attendance sucks. And it would be like, have you ever been to Turner Field? Do you know how big that stadium is? Like literally 30,000 is half full. Like but it's true. Like, and they had standing room only too. So Turner Field was massive. And I think that was kind of part of its downfall. Also, I don't know if you even realize this, but at Turner Field, there were no outfield lights. I don't know if you know that. They were all around the infield. You didn't know that. But a little fun fact that I actually didn't realize that until Chip Carey or Joe Simpson said it. That's why it always kind of seemed like if you watched the night game, it was always like a little darker than like other stadiums, you know? I don't know if you ever noticed that, but
yeah, I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about that, and then I noticed that once. I don't remember when that was. When I found that out, I don't remember, but yeah, we got smoked by the Orioles, and today, which is Thursday, earlier today, we got crushed again. This time by our buddy's favorite team, the wonderful Pittsburgh Pirates, the second best team in baseball. Oh wait, just kidding. Worst team in baseball. I got confused with
See, they're predicted to win 58 games. That's just bad.
I mean, we were projected to win 84 according to Picada.
The one that they released today, we were projected to win 92, I think.
I'm okay with 92. I mean,
like hold up.
I don't want to say this Instagram user guy's name because I don't want like a bunch of people to be like, you suck. But Luke knows who I'm talking about now because I sent him a lot of these things.
Yeah, 91 and a half total wins is the line.
Well, can I just bring
Sorry.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about, can I just bring up what this guy said? If I can pull it up.
He's got some crazy stuff. He has some grudge against the Braves.
Okay, so I don't know what this guy's deal is. He's actually a Yankees fan, I found out. So I don't. If you're in like any of these Braves chats I'm in, you guys know who I'm talking about. But for for his privacy, for the sake of his page and everyone, just him in general, I'm not making a grudge toward him as a person, just as a Brave or like a baseball page. It's bad. He gave the Rockies offseason a better grade than the Braves offseason when the Rockies traded away Nolan Arenado and $50 million and didn't even receive a top 5 prospect in return. The Braves, meanwhile, they re-signed Ozuna. They got Charlie Morton. They made their rotation a lot better, a lot more depth. But and then their offense, basically the exact same as last year. Except we lost Duval, but like he probably wouldn't start anyways because there's no DH. But he gave the Rockies a C+. He gave us a C. I don't get how that makes any sense. What the heck did the Rockies do?
Did the Rockies even acquire a player? Did they even sign anybody?
They got a couple prospects, but they were bad prospects. Like there was literally nothing great that they even got. I don't remember the names or anything, but
I kind of assumed he was the Mets fan, and then I saw that I got into a little beef. I got a little beef on one of his pages, and they're like, "He's a Yankees fan." And I was like, "Whatever."
Yeah. So he says, I literally texted Luke earlier. This is going to be a shorter episode because we don't have as much to talk about. We're making things to talk about because we haven't talked about anything in a while because we haven't recorded since like Sunday, I think. And it's almost Friday. So I'll just read the whole thing. This is the entire paragraph. Let me just do this. The Braves had a pretty mediocre offseason. Literally, how it wasn't mediocre. I mean, I know mediocre is not.
It wasn't outstanding, but it was definitely above average.
I mean, give them like B- at the lowest. Come on. Also, this is the lowest grade in the entire NL East, which doesn't make any sense. I liked the Ozuna and Morton signings, but not enough to get them much higher than a C. You gave him a C after getting a potential MVP candidate in Marcell Ozuna and Charlie Morton, like one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball. Just doesn't make any sense.
Coming off a team that just went to the World Series. May I add, he pitched 2 games in the World Series. So
yeah, big part of the Rays rotation for many years, and he was a big part of the Astros team. Even though we won't get into that, but so I like the Ozuna and Morton signings, but not enough to get them much higher, as they lost 3 bullpen arms in O'Day, Green, and Melanson. I wouldn't say we lost Green necessarily because he's still out there, and we still could potentially get him back. I mean, it's completely crazy to me that he's still out there, but maybe it's just
I know
holding out for more money. I don't know. And did not replace them. Okay, so does Carl Edwards Jr. not exist? Does Nate Jones not exist? Who's the other guy that we got? Victor Arano? Does he not exist? Like, I know Arano hasn't pitched in a couple years, but like, he was one of the Phillies' best arms in a couple years ago. Are you just going to ignore that? Carl Edwards Jr., big part of the 2016 World Series run. Does he not exist? I completely disagree. We did replace them. I mean, maybe not with like, they aren't better than O'Day and Melanson, but they could potentially like fill in their shoes pretty well. They also have an apparent hole at third base. This was before Jake Lamb, so apparent hole at third base. I mean, because Austin Riley. He said with Austin Riley not living up to his initial astronomically high hype as a prospect, he never was that hyped up. He was not hyped up.
No, he wasn't even a hype prospect. The only reason, like when he came up, was he went on that streak where he had like
a home run every
10 straight games. He had like a streak where he was hitting like ridiculous amount of home runs that we caught up, and he kept doing it,
and pitchers figured him out.
I mean, spring training, he's been hitting well. I mean, give me a break. Listen, I'm not a huge I like Austin Riley. I want to have faith in Austin Riley, but to bash him, to say he's not living to the hype, and he's going into his second full season.
Not
came out with
not even
20.
it was 2019.
It was 20. It was like
Because
spring. It was like
that was like
summer
mid
2019.
2019, 2020. That's not even a full season. So he hasn't even played a full season yet. So
he's played like what 100 games, and we're already calling this guy a bust or something.
I mean,
don't know.
I know his career WAR is in the negatives. He's had a negative WAR both of his years as a major league player, but come on. I mean, his defense is also really good. That's another thing people don't factor in very much. I get his strikeouts through the roof. He's really got to work on his plate discipline, which we've been seeing him make some good strides in spring training so far. I think he's hitting like 500. It's crazy.
Yep.
Is he like 4 for 6? I think.
He had a hit today, so I think he's 5 for like 8 now.
Jeez, I mean that's so good to see Austin Riley doing well. But with Austin Riley not living up to his initial astronomically high hype as a prospect, he was never that hyped up. Never. Like I'm just gonna put that out there. Like we're just like completely like we're just like completely bashing this guy's claims because they're not true.
Yeah,
with the okay. Here's something that I know both of us are definitely gonna disagree with. I mean, we disagree with all this, but this is like one of the biggest things, and we're not even to like the biggest one. This is probably the second biggest claim that he made. With the rotation due for a regression, in parentheses, outside of Morton. What? Okay, first of all, I'll finish up that sentence in a bit. The rotation due for regression. Do you not know that Mike Soroka is coming back? I don't know when he's going to come back. I think he's. I know for a fact that we're not going to try to rush him back because, like, obviously we want to be careful with Soroka. I don't know if he's going to be back by opening day. I think he is. I think he is our opening day starter if he's available. I think we start him over Fried because he's been that guy for us the last few years and he has experience on opening day. I know Fried made a case last year, but I would still give it to Soroka because that's our guy. That's our ace moving forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, not saying Max Fried doesn't have ace type stuff. I just think Soroka's been here for longer. Soroka's our man. He said outside of Morton. So whatever. Drew Smiley, I guess I can kind of agree. This guy, Drew Smiley he's been pretty bad, if I'm being honest, the last several years. 2020 struck out like 14 batters per 9 innings, which is crazy, but that's definitely not going to be the case for a full 162 game season. That's obvious. There's no way that he's going to be a 14 strikeout per 9 inning guy. That's just impossible. You don't even see the best pitchers in the game have K per 9 that high. I mean, if he actually does for a 162 game season, I won't complain. But this guy clearly does not believe in Max Fried or Ian Anderson, even though Ian Anderson has literally never had a bad season in his entire professional baseball career. He flew his way up in the minors, and put up great numbers at every level. I don't think it's fair to say that the rotation's due for regression, especially considering how bad it was last year outside of Fried and Anderson. I mean, sure, we had Cole Hamels and Felix Hernandez complete. I mean, they only threw 3 innings combined. Felix just said bye in spring training or summer camp, I guess as it was called. Hamels, obviously, we know what happened to him. We literally had like Kyle Wright. I mean, it's going to be very hard for him to he regressed from how he was last year. I mean, he was bad. I mean, I know he had a few good starts later in the season. He had a couple good games in the postseason, I think, or maybe just one. I can't remember, but that's a stupid claim. You know, it was a big disappointment. Wilson was not great by any means, but obviously game 4 of the NLCS, we saw what he could be. So it's not fair to say that those guys are in for regression. That's a stupid thing to say. With the rotation due for a regression, that's the dumbest.
I feel like he was just trying to find things to say that just made no sense.
Basically, so I mean, it's either you don't follow the Braves or you don't know baseball, and I think it's both. So, so moving past the rotation, with the rotation due for regression outside of Morton, the Braves lineup will likely need to step up to be competitive for the NL East.
Keep in mind, this is the same team that was literally one game away from the World Series. Like, what?
Are you okay? So let me just finish this up. So the Braves lineup will likely need to step up to be competitive for the NL East, which is not by no means an offensive juggernaut. That is possibly the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Not sure what all the hype around the Braves is, as I don't see them as even a 90-win team overall. C. Are you out of your mind? Like, okay, so let's just start off. By no means an offensive juggernaut. Let's just go around the diamond. Travis d'Arnaud at catcher. Holy crap, this guy took off last year, won Silver Slugger. Holy crap, like, we're going to see this guy for a whole season. Obviously, he's not going to put up those numbers for 162 games, but, you know, having that bat in the lineup for 162 games, that's going to help. I mean, he's not going to play every day, obviously, but having him there, if he stays healthy, I hope he stays healthy, he can be fantastic. He can be an all-star behind the plate. MVP at first, we don't even need to talk about that. Ozzy Albies, one of the best young second basemen in baseball. Dansby Swanson, he's been on the rise for years, and, you know, he's entering that age where he's going to be taken off. Third base, I mean, yeah, it's kind of, I agree, it's kind of a hole. I mean, as much as I love Austin Riley, but if he begins to struggle, we have Jake Lamb. We have some backup options, along with Camargo, although I'm not a big believer in Camargo. We still have him, so we have depth at third base if we need it. And we have Pablo Sandoval, but I don't think he's... Who the heck knows what's going to happen with Pablo Sandoval? I don't even know. In the outfield, Ozuna and left. So there's an MVP candidate right there, leading the league last year in 2 of the 3 Triple Crown categories. One of the best young outfielders in center in Pache, or possibly a great leadoff hitter in, or I guess maybe like bottom of the order guy with Ender Inciarte at the start of the season. It's possible. And then obviously an MVP candidate and Acuna and Wright. How is that not an offensive juggernaut? Are you stupid? Like, I don't want to, like, you know, be mean to people on this podcast, but this is literally the dumbest thing I've ever read in my life.
I want Austin Riley to absolutely take off and the Braves to just take off, and I just want to rub it in this guy's face. Like, you have no idea. Like, I will go to this guy's page next year, or like in the next, like in October, if we do something, this guy is going down. He's being eliminated.
Oh yeah.
In the most respectful way possible, obviously.
I am going to I literally have all these things pinned on my page, or like saved, so I can find them later. I'm going to post them on my story after this year. He doesn't even see us as a 90-win team. Like, how stupid are you? Like, that's just the disrespect for a team who's literally won 3 straight. I get it. The Mets are a much better team, but until they can prove that they're a better team than the Braves, they're not. Just throwing that out there. But we got a little heated. But yeah, we lost today, 6-1. But we won't even talk about that. Let's just... Oh yeah, I was going to talk about CJ Alexander earlier. I forgot about that. Oh well, let's just skip that too. So, yes, obviously we did discuss this earlier. But we have some exciting news for the podcast next episode. I'll just go ahead and say this as a little hint. We do have a professional player coming on the podcast. Not going to tell you. He could be a prospect. He could just be a minor leaguer, not even a top 30. He could be a major league player. We're not going to tell you. But
you guys will find out.
Y'all will find out, and we will discuss what it's like to actually have fans in the stands this spring. He is with a spring training team, so that's a little hint. You narrow it down a little bit. I'm not going to say if this guy's a position player or a pitcher. I'm not going to say if he's a starting pitcher, relief pitcher, backup outfielder. I'm not going to say anything. But if I'm close enough to you in real life, y'all might know who it is. But right now we're going to keep it a little secret. We're going to surprise y'all. So, anyways, every single time something pops up in our episode analytics, I will say something about it. So, for example, when we have people from a different country listen to this podcast, or
yes,
like maybe it's someone just visiting someone in these countries, I will shout out whoever is in someplace other than America, because obviously like 97% of you, according to this, are in America right now listening to this. I mean, 1% of y'all are in Canada. So here's the ones that we have said so far. Obviously, US, Canada, Mexico, Netherlands, South Korea, Argentina, Israel, United Kingdom, and Puerto Rico, even though Puerto Rico is part of the US. But we have a new one. I know it just still blows my mind that we had someone listen from all the way from Israel, Argentina, South Korea, like Netherlands. What is this? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We're going global. But we reached someone from down under, the land down under. I know my mom loves that song. We come from the land down under. I don't know if you know that song. It's a great song from the 80s. You know that song?
I don't know that song.
We just let down you might just let down your parents. I don't know. But like everyone who actually like grew up in the 80s or just listens to 80s music, I listen to 80s music because I mean it's a good.
Grew up in the 80s.
You know. But we have some people from the land down under, aka Australia. So we have some people from Australia listening. Shout out to y'all in Australia. I guess I'm assuming it's just one person because it says less than 1%. I don't know. But if we want to dive a little deeper into like where exactly in Australia, it's Victoria, Australia. I don't even know where that is. But
it's like along the coast. I don't know Australia. I only know
really
Sydney.
Australia. Anyways, Sydney and Victoria, and then like they have some city on the west coast, which is kind of weird. And then they have like a long stretch in the middle of nothing, just desert. I don't know. That kind of sucks, but that kind of sucks. Just if you trying to visit someone from across the country and you don't want to fly, then it's a long drive. But anyways, shout out Australia. Also, if there's anyone who's not listening in the United States, that includes Hawaii. I know Hawaii is kind of like a cool place to be listening. We do have listeners from Hawaii too. Let me put that out there because I do know that there are some people from Hawaii listening. I do have that stuff. We don't know exactly where in Hawaii. We don't have that much information, so don't be like, oh my gosh, they're tracking us. We're not. We just know like what country and what state y'all are from. That's literally it. That's all we know. But if y'all are actually like listening from a different country, let us know. Like direct message us on Instagram at Talking Braves. I'm still not used to saying that. Talking Braves Pod on Instagram. Everything's gonna be in the description. Email us. Do whatever you need to do, but let us know where y'all are listening from. That would be a cool thing. So
awesome.
It blows my mind that we have listeners from around the world. That's crazy.
It is.
But I mean, it just shows that the Braves fans are not just in Georgia. They're not just in the Southeast. They're not even all over the United States. They're all over the world. That's just crazy. I love it. Chop on. I mean, I hope we still. If we get rid of the chop, I'm gonna be so sad. That's good. I mean, literally, like that's the way society is headed. And I, as much as I don't want to offend anyone, but that'll be a sad day. And I have a feeling that day is going to come sometime in the future. I hope we haven't seen the last of the Tomahawk Chop. And if that actually happens, we got to find a new intro. And I don't know what the heck we're going to play. If there's any musicians out there, maybe I can just be like, yo, Jordan Rager, can you make us an intro? Well, that would be cool, I guess. But not going to bug him too much about that. But but if that happens, that's a very sad thing. And I definitely don't want to see that happen. So, but real quick, before we get into the last part of this episode, first of all, we do want to shout out our sponsor. So, a quick word from our sponsor at Anchor.